Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're here to cut through the noise and get you well informed fast. Today, we're diving into Morocco. Specifically, what you really need to know if you're thinking about a solo trip there. We've been looking through some great material, basically Morocco's solo travel essentials. It covers, smart packing, getting around, talking to people, the works.
Exactly. And our mission today is pretty simple. Pull out the absolute must-knows from these sources. Think of it as a shortcut. Yeah. So by the end of this, you'll feel genuinely ready for that Moroccan adventure. Confident, prepared, ready for a hassle-free, really memorable time. Just the essentials, none of the fluff.
Right. Let's jump in. Morocco, it conjures up such different pictures, doesn't it? You've got the crazy busy souks in Marrakech, and the quiet, huge Sahara Desert, and then these massive Atlas Mountains, sometimes even with snow. It's that variety, I think, that makes packing seem, a bit daunting. What works in one place might be totally wrong somewhere else. How did the sources say we should approach that?
You've nailed the main challenge. And yeah, the sources are really clear. Versatility is key. But it's more than just versatile clothes. It's about thinking smart. Where are you going exactly and what time of year? Morocco just isn't a one-size-fits-all place for packing. If you treat it like that, you could end up pretty uncomfortable.
Okay, versatility. Got it.
Yep.
So starting general then clothing, what are the sort of universal rules for dressing in Morocco, no matter where you are?
Well, one thing that comes up again is loose, breathable fabrics. Think cotton, linen, that kind of thing. It's partly about comfort in the heat, obviously, but it's also about respecting local culture. And, linen dries fast, which is great after a long day exploring. Layers are also mentioned a lot because, hot days can turn into surprisingly cool nights, especially outside the big cities. And maybe the biggest universal point, modesty. Covering shoulders and knees, it's not just the suggestion, it's really seen as respectful, and that helps you have better interactions,
That modesty point feels really important. It's culture, not just clothes.
Yeah.
Okay, what about timing? Does the season massively change the packing list?
Oh, absolutely. Huge difference. Let's break it down. If you're going in spring, say March to May, or in the fall, September to November, so that's generally the sweet spot. Weather's usually lovely. So light layers, definitely comfortable walking shoes because you'll be doing a lot of it. Maybe a light jacket for evenings.
Right. The summer, I imagine that's a whole different ballgame.
It really is. Summer, June through August, especially down south, it can get incredibly hot. The sources are really strong on this. Loose, light clothes, hats, proper sunglasses, high SPF sunscreen. These are non-negotiables. You have to protect yourself.
Makes sense.
And then winter, December to February. People sometimes underestimate this. It can get properly cold, especially up in the mountains or out in the desert at night. So you'll definitely want a warm jacket, maybe gloves, waterproof shoes. You don't want to be freezing while stargazing in the Sahara.
Definitely not. A cold desert night.
Yeah.
Need to be ready for that. So, okay, general season's covered. But what about specifics? Like tailoring clothes for different regions. Marrakech versus the mountains must be worlds apart.
Exactly. And that's where the advice gets really practical. For the cities Marrakech, Fes, Casablanca, places like that, the advice is basically modest and comfortable. Think maxi dresses, tunics over light trousers, maybe long skirts, stuff that lets you walk around markets or visit sites respectfully, but stay reasonably cool.
Okay. And for the more extreme environments, like the desert or mountains.
Right. If you're heading to the desert Merzouga, Zagora, a scarf is mentioned everywhere. A good one. It's not just style, it's practical. Protects you from sand if it kicks up the sun, even the cool evening air. And those warm layers again. Desert nights get surprisingly cold. A fleece or something similar is often needed, even after a really hot day.
Wow, okay. Mountain ranges.
For the mountains, like the Atlas or the Rif, it shifts completely. Think activewear. Good, sturdy hiking boots are essential, the terrain is rough, and fleece jackets, proper rain gear. Mountain weather can change super quickly. Getting caught unprepared in rain or cold up there would be miserable.
Totally. Hiking the Atlas in sandals. Bad idea. What about the coast? Essaouira, Agadir.
Coastal towns are a bit more relaxed. Swimsuits on the beach, absolutely fine. Sunbathing, swimming, no problem. But, and this is the key thing the sources point out, once you leave the actual beach and walk into town, cover up again. Sarong, light dress, t-shirt. It just comes back to respecting local norms, even where it feels a bit more touristy.
Makes sense. Okay, so beyond clothes, it's often the little things, isn't it? The stuff you forget until you desperately need it. What non-clothing items did the sources flag as must-haves for solo travel there?
Oh, this list is gold. Stuff you might easily overlook. First up, a power adapter. Morocco uses Type C and E plugs, 220 volts. Don't just assume your standard European one will fit everywhere. Check the type.
Good tip.
Second, a reusable water bottle. Maybe one with a filter if you can. Staying hydrated is critical, obviously, and it's good to cut down on plastic waste. Third, a basic mini first aid kit. You know, plasters for blisters, you'll walk a lot, painkillers for headaches, and definitely include anti-diarrheal meds, just in case travel tummy happens.
Yeah, better safe than sorry on that one. What else?
Sunscreen and sunglasses, obviously, non-negotiable, especially desert and coast. But here's a really cool, unique one from the sources. Hammam essentials.
Ooh, right?
Yeah, a hammam is a traditional bathhouse. It's more than a wash. It's a whole cultural ritual, really important in Morocco. To really participate properly, the sources suggest bringing your own towel, a special exfoliating glove called a kessa, and some savon noir, that's black soap, usually olive-based. It's a fantastic way to relax and actually connect with local life. Really immersive.
Wow, that's a great detail. Not just practical, but adds to the experience. What about keeping stuff safe in crowded places?
Right. For security, a crossbody bag with zippers is highly recommended. Much harder for pickpockets to get into than a backpack or an open tote bag, especially in those packed medinas or souks. Keep your valuables zipped up and close. It just gives peace of mind.
Okay, so packing sorted, but once you're there, solo. Getting around, connecting with people.
Right.
That feels like the next big piece. Our sources had some interesting things to say about language and navigation, right?
They definitely did. And a big takeaway is just how much a little bit of language effort helps. So the official language is Arabic, but specifically the Moroccan dialect Darija, which is fascinating, actually, a mix of Arabic, Berber languages, French, but French is also super widely spoken, especially in cities and tourist spots. And the point the sources make is that even learning just a few basic phrases in Darija or French can make interactions way smoother. Haggling in markets, asking for directions, just simple greetings. It's not about fluency, it's about showing you're trying. It breaks the ice.
Connection and just basic functioning, yeah. So what were some of those key phrases? Give us the highlights, the mini cheat sheet.
Okay, let's see. For basic Arabic, Darisha, hello, is salam alaikum. The response you'll hear back is, wa alaikum salam. Thank you is simple. Shukran, very useful in the markets. How much is this? Is brish shalhida. And if you need a haggle, maybe a smiling too expensive, which is galib zaf.
Ah, okay. Oh. It's a good one to know. And French.
For common French phrases, which are indispensable in cities, good morning, good evening, bonjour, bonsoir, please, thank you, s'il vous plaît, merci. Basic politeness goes a long way, trying to find your way. Where is the train station? Où est la gare? Uta. And if you need to check a polite, do you speak English, is parlez-vous anglais. Just having these ready helps a lot.
That's a great starting point. But nowadays, those phrases plus technology, that's the real game changer for solo travel, isn't it? So beyond spoken language, what about apps? What digital tools are essential?
Oh yeah, there's a whole digital toolkit recommended, super helpful. For navigation and transportation, Google Maps, naturally, good for walking, figuring out taxi routes. But here's a crucial safety tip from the sources. Use Careem. It's a ride-hailing app like Uber. It's specifically mentioned as being much safer than just grabbing a taxi off the street. Why? Because prices are fixed up front, no haggling needed, and the trip is tracked. Both you and the driver are registered. That traceability adds a big layer of security, especially, say, for solo women traveling late. Avoid scams, too.
That's huge.
Yeah.
Really good to know about Careem. Okay, what about finding places to stay?
For accommodation,
Sure.
The usual suspects work well. Booking.com, Airbnb, great for hotels, traditional ryads, guest houses. If you're on a budget or want to meet other travelers, Hostel World is recommended for dorms. The sources also mention couch surfing for connecting with locals, but they add a pretty important heads up, particularly for women traveling alone. Be extra careful, use your judgment when choosing hosts.
Right, important caution there. And staying connected, communication, safety. What other apps are key?
Okay, for communication and safety, WhatsApp is basically essential in Morocco. The sources say it's how most hotels, guides, even drivers prefer to communicate. Setting up pickups, confirming details, it's the standard. Google Translate is your friend for quick Arabic or French translations, menus, signs, whatever. For reviews and guides, TripAdvisor and Lonely Planet are still solid resources, and this one's brilliant, maps.me. Download offline maps. Crucial for when you don't have internet access but still need to find your way. Don't rely on always having data.
Offline maps, yes. Lifesaver. Okay, seems like we've covered the practical stuff. But what about the fun part? Finding amazing food, cool experiences?
Covered too. For food and cultural experiences, the Fork can be good for finding restaurants, maybe booking tables in bigger cities. But for something really special and authentic, Eat With gets a mention. It connects you with locals who host meals in their homes. Imagine sharing a proper home-cooked tagine with a Moroccan family. That's real immersion, way beyond a typical restaurant.
That sounds amazing.
And for booking tours, activities, day trips safely, Get Your Guide and Viator are recommended. They vet the operators, makes booking easy and reliable.
That's a seriously useful set of tools. So, pulling all this great advice together, what are the final, maybe most crucial tips for actually using these resources effectively? Preparation seems key.
Preparation is totally the recurring theme, yeah. The big takeaways are, 1, download those offline maps and Google Translate before you leave home. Don't wait till you arrive and might have dodgy Wi-Fi. 2, get used to using WhatsApp. Set it up, be ready to use it for coordinating with rides, guides, drivers. It just makes things smoother. And 3, consider joining relevant Facebook groups, something like Women Traveling in Morocco. You can get real-time advice, support, tips from people on the ground. It's a great community resource.
What an incredibly helpful deep dive. Seriously, it feels like knowing this stuff, packing right, communicating effectively, navigating smartly, really does empower you, especially solo, to explore Morocco with, well, confidence. Preparation isn't just about avoiding hassle. It really is the key to unlocking a fantastic trip.
It absolutely is. When you understand these practical things, dressing respectfully, using the right apps, knowing a few basic phrases, it does more than just make the logistics easier. It frees you up mentally. It lets you interact with more confidence and respect, and that leads to much deeper, more genuine connections with the place and the people. It's about being equipped to truly engage, not just drift through.
So here's something to think about as we wrap up. Mastering these practical bits and pieces doesn't just make travel less stressful. It actually creates space. Space in your head, space in your day, to really soak in the unexpected moments, the spontaneous chats, the incredible sights and sounds and tastes that make Morocco or anywhere new really so uniquely beautiful. Go prepared, stay open, and enjoy the adventure.